Hey cousins, happy Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. How are you? Okay, I'm gonna send it this. Okay. I'm trying to send my guest the link to join. So let me see when he gets it. How are you? Hi, Miss Darlene. Hi, I see you looking. Hey, Miss Marilyn. Hey, Miss Bertha. Hey, Miss Janice. Hey, Mom. Hit the like button. Miss Janice say hit the like button. I'm sorry, y'all, if I'm all thrown off. I'm trying to send him the link. Hi, Miss Matthews. How are you? Thank you. We enjoyed it. Everybody loved being on there. Like they love seeing y'all. They love being on there. So thank y'all for watching. So hopefully he got the link. I can send it to his messenger too. Let's see. See if I can send. I'll send it to his Facebook too. Okay, I sent it that way. So hopefully he'll be joining soon. So he has I gotta bring up my notes. But I'm introduce you to another one of my best friends. He's an engineer, and he is into investing, and he has a program out now that teaches people how to invest in the stock market. So when I talk about breaking generational curses, we need to build generational wealth for our children and teach them how to um, build generational wealth for themselves and to learn how not to depend on a 9 to 5, to have some residual income to help them out in life. We know life is hard, and times get rough, and money get short. So we trying to build a better generation than what we had. Our goal is always to make the next generation better than what we have. So that's my goal here. It's laughter and fun and games too, but I also want you all to take something away from here when you leave here. And hopefully you would do that today. So just a couple more seconds. Hey, Miss Pam, you on the road? Be careful. Hi, Miss Tawana. Hi, Miss Marilyn. Forex shows good information, Miss Darling. Okay. Hey, Miss Helena. Hey, Miss Marilyn. So hopefully he got it, because I got nothing for y'all right now. So hopefully he got, let me see if I can call him on Facebook, y'all. So y'all, what happened today? I haven't tuned in today. I seen that before I hopped on that she had on her live that she was over something. So what's the word on the street today, y'all? Did you get the link? Oh wait, let me go. Okay, I see you. Okay.
Wait, is
Is
this?
your mic going?
Yeah, is it on?
Okay,
Can you hear me?
okay. All right, y'all. This is one of my best friends, very educated man, and he's here to teach y'all some things today. So if you want to take over, Bestie, you got it.
Hey, everybody. So my name is Tayo Akin. I'm a autonomous mobile robotics engineer. Previous history before that, I was a mechanical engineer, automotive supplier. Started investing in the stock market around 2012. Didn't really quite know what I was doing. Honestly, I was just buying stuff that I personally knew. Like I worked at Express, so I bought Express stock. Um, I worked at, I think I worked at Nike as well, sometimes in Best Buy. So I buy some of their shares of their stock as well. So kind of got into it that way, but didn't really know. Like I said, didn't really know what I was doing. Um, Time kind of went by. Met some friends that started trading in forex in like 2017, and then from then on, that kind of like sparked the fire in me. I became very serious about learning the financial market, learning economics and everything on everything as far because all of it kind of ties in together. And to me, I think that's like one of the most monumental moments of my life to where I can honestly see, I can envision a life that I can control on my end. To me, I love the stock market because they don't see color. At the end of the day, the stock market doesn't care if you black, white, female, male, gay, straight, any of that. Like it just cares if you just know how to trade or if you know how to invest. You pick the right company, you do well. If you pick a bad company, you don't do well, and the money doesn't matter. So I mean, in a sense per se, but in the long run, at the end of the day, stock market is like the way to me. I feel like how you could get into creating wealth, generational wealth for your family and for the community. Honestly, so Tamika, what do you want me to just go through these questions, or how do you want me to do this? I can't hear you. Tamika, you're mute.
Okay. I had to cut you off because I had to listen to you over here because it was a delay on my phone. You can do you. I gave you the questions, whatever you want to do, you do you.
All right, wait. So was I just doing? Is that showing up down there now, or how is it?
No, 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 no. That's just
Okay.
things that I thought beginners should know. So whatever route you want to take it.
All right. So I got your questions. So I guess I'll just answer each one in order that I got. So I think the first question I got was, what is step one in investing in the stock market? So step one for anything you're doing when it comes to financial markets, never invest, trade
Come on.
with money that you need. Like, please, like it's like the number one thing. If you use money that you need or going to need, if you feel like you're gonna need this money next year, if you feel like you're gonna need this money in the next 5 years to the 10 years, do not use that money. The only money you put into the financial markets is money that you don't need. So, for myself, when I first started taking investing seriously, I cut out, as Tamika would tell you, I cut out like a lot of social stuff out of my life to get focused, and I basically created a budget for myself where I live off um, 30-40% of my income, and I invest 60 to 70% of it. Let me see. The next question is, what are the main stock exchanges? So the main stock exchanges, you have the New York Stock Exchange and you have the Nasdaq. So your Nasdaq is more your like your tech companies. Your New York Stock Exchange is like your Dow, the top 30. You know, if you ever hear about it, and your S&P 500. So like that's the top 500 companies in the public market. Next would be the type of stocks you should know. So this question I meant to actually say I'm not quite sure. How do you want me to quite answer this one? Is this more so about um
To actually say I'm not quite sure. How do you want me to
Like
quite
the
answer this one? Is this more so
ETFs and
about
things like that.
Okay. All right.
um,
So you have your single stocks, of course, like these are the ones based on companies like your AAPL is like your Apple or your MSFT is like your Microsoft, right? Then you also have ETF. So an ETF would be kind of considered your exchange trade fund, right? So this is kind of think of it like you go into a department store, right? And this department store has like a lot of different items, right? So like let's say you want an ETF for all the different types of houses. So in this case, this would be real estate, so a REIT. So you basically an ETF would be all the stocks that deal with real estate. So technically, the ETF is just basically in this exchange traded funds, which basically means you are basically using stock that is made up of multiple different companies that follow a certain industry or a certain kind of purpose. You can also have an ETF based on hype, considered basically if these are the stocks that get a lot of talking about on Twitter or on social media. So they kind of consider those ETFs like considered your hype stocks. You can have an ETF based on anything to deal with crypto. So any company that does anything with crypto, an ETF based on that. So ETFs are just kind of like a way to kind of categorize a stock of a certain industry or a certain thesis all into one. You also have your mutual funds, your index funds. Index funds are the typical type of funds like your SPX and your your Nasdaqs, your Dow, and typically what you use for those are those more sort of ones that are kind of trade not like single stocks and ETFs. They trade a little differently. You kind of have to buy them at the beginning of the day or begin to buy them at the end of the night. And you also have mutual funds that are like your more retirement funds. Okay. Next question. All right. So, how to define your goals and what type of style of trading? What style of trading is best for you?
all right. So how to
All right. So this one is very. You have to figure out yourself. So trading will definitely help you figure out who you are as a person. It will reveal the cracks in your personality, your flaws, and your strengths and your weaknesses. Honestly, if you're not person, you have to find out the kind of person you are. If you're not comfortable seeing red in your portfolio, then you probably shouldn't be. You should probably be somebody who's like a day trader because you want to get in and out the trade as quickly as possible. But that also means you have to have the time to monitor the charts and be looking at the market throughout the day, or at least during the time you want to trade. Uh, if you're somebody that's fine with dealing with red, then you're somebody who could be a positional trader, meaning that you basically take trades that can be there for a few days or a week or so. You have traders that are who can't do any of that. They just need to invest, and those are the typical traders who just buy and hold for long term because they can't watch the market. So these are the type of factors you have to find out about yourself before you can figure out if you are a trader or an investor. Are you comfortable with watching the charts throughout the day? If you come through seeing red in your trade, you have to figure out who you are as a person before you can like just trade deliberately. So like sometimes you want to definitely start trading with demo accounts and then trade with a little bit of money so you can figure out how your personality is because it will reveal quick if you're the kind of person if you're very emotional then you should be somebody who does not stay in trades for too long because you'll make decisions based on emotional factors. And one of the biggest things that cause people to lose money in the market is being very emotional. As you see now in the market has been dropping to a point where people think we're about to have a stock market crash. And what you will see is that what's happening is they're trying to create this fear, and a lot of people are starting to sell their shares because they are fearful about the money that they could lose. They just create all this fear FUD, as we like to call it, so fear, uncertainty, and doubt, because you got a lot of macroeconomics pain involved as far as like inflation, the Ukraine war with Russia. You also have supply and demand chain issues. So a lot of these different factors. Then you also have the midterm elections coming up as well. All these factors create FUD, and investors get scared, so they get spooked, and they don't want to lose money in the market, so they end up selling their shares. While you have other people who, at this time, are they don't see fear. They don't care about being read. What they're doing right now is they're buying more shares, or they're waiting to send out cash, and they're waiting to see when the fear stops, and then they get in and they start buying more shares. Um, but everybody's not able to do all that. It really depends on your personality. So you have to figure out what kind of person you are and what type of person you're going to be in the market. And that comes with time. Honestly, you just don't know that until you get into certain situations. So of course, like experience is your best friend, the best teacher. Uh, so your goals would be based on what is your why. Like, why do you want to get into the market? Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to learn how to invest? Why do you want to learn how to make money through the market? Why does this matter to you? When you figure out those things for yourself, then you know what kind of goals you need to make and set for yourself. Let's see. The next question is, how to analyze stocks. All right, so this one's a little bit, you can't really do this in like a 5 minute session. This is really in depth, but for the gist of it, it's by using fundamental, sentimental, and technical analysis. You want to fundamentals are basically understanding the I like to say the guts of a company. You want to understand the financials, how that company makes money, what is their moat, what makes them different from everybody else, who are their competition, what is their compound annual growth rate, how do they make money, do they have problems in the headwinds coming up on the horizon, do they have any tailwinds that's going to be good for them. You got to learn all those things about a company looking at the earnings report. Sentimental is like, what is the market saying? How do market analysts look at these companies? How do investors look at these companies? Is investors pouring more money into these companies, or are they taking money out? Technical analysis is reading the charts, understanding, is it in the downtrend or uptrend? Is it just consolidating? And these things aren't easy to learn. These are things it takes a while. You can learn these from sites like, a really good popular YouTube series is the Come Up series. You also have Earn Your Leisure, Market Mondays. I have a YouTube channel. I haven't updated it in a long time just because I've been very busy with my new career. But have really good videos on fundamental sentiment analysis, technical analysis as well. Yeah, you can learn all of that just also going on Investopedia. A lot of good resources on there just to understand what those things are. But these are things that, again, it's gonna take a
Also
while.
going on Investopedia, a lot of good
Take a
resources
while
on
to
that. Just
understand those
Tell
things.
them
And
about your course.
but these are things that, again,
I
it's
also
like
have a
it's
course
gonna
as
take.
well. If you go on Instagram, money message, or Tayo period AKIN, on Instagram, click that link in the bio. I have a course. It's like $49.99 at the moment, but it's also for stocks and business credit, how to build business credit as well. But I go through all of this, like how to understand how to invest, how to understand how to read stocks, how to read an earnings report, how to analyze an earnings report, um, understanding different types of stocks, different type of stock exchanges, different type of brokerages. So I go over to help go and make sure that people understand the basics, because I understand that a lot of people want to get into the market, but they don't have a quite good understanding of the basics. And if you don't have a good understanding of the basics, you shouldn't get into the market until you got a good understanding of the basics. Um, so my course kind of go through all of that. I actually had a mentoring group a mentee group that I actually was mentoring, single women, some men, some women, some single moms and everything, like in 2020 time frame. And we just kind of was going through those things, how to look at stocks, how to read charts, how to use fundamental analysis, how to read macroeconomics, what sites are really good resources to learn from, all those type of things. So it's really useful. Really, I believe it will really helpful. And it's like a quiz at each section to make sure that you really kind of understand what I'm teaching as well. Next question. So, how to invest as a beginner with not a lot of money, and how to buy stocks as a beginner. These are kind of like the same. So, I'm just going to answer them at once. Actually, these the next question as well. What are things people have to do to start investing as a beginner? These are all kind of pretty much the same. So, I'm just going to talk them all at one time. So one, like I said, you got to understand how much you're willing to lose. Find that out first, um, and just set that money to the side. Creating a budget for yourself as well. I always recommend find, what can you sacrifice. If you going out popping bottles, if you buy J's, if you buying wigs and where you might want to sacrifice a purchase here and there every month, so you can like put that into the market because you get what's called compound interest, and that's a really beautiful thing. One of the most beautiful things in the world is. I'm just saying that that those things add up. But sacrificing once a month, you could do those things. I'm laughing at Tamika because she didn't like the whole sacrificing wigs and stuff. But look, I'm just saying, you want to get serious about it, just create a disciplinary way of being disciplined about being a master of money. You have to understand money is a tool. Money is a tool for you to use for your benefit. And once you understand how money makes money, you don't want to stop. Like I'm supposed to go out tomorrow, and all I can think about is like if I spend $50 here, and then another $100 later, and another $50 later, that's at least like almost 1.5 shares of Apple. Like that accumulates. You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of things that I be thinking about now, like as an investor. So you have to you have to make sure you have a certain budget for being able to invest in the market. Because you got to make sure you put your money to work. Sometimes, sometimes it's best to just have that money just come out right out your paycheck or from your bank account every other week. So you pay yourself first. That's like we say, pay yourself first, so you can like start using money to make you money. Um, I would say first, like to get in the market, start understanding what the market is in general and what the stock market is, how to invest into it, and quite frankly, you want to understand like what a stock is, what is a share, how do companies IPO in the first place, what are the different kind of brokerages, what are the different type of stocks that are out there, the different sectors, industries, how to research a stock. Once you understand those things, you start getting into the market. If you want to just get in there, get into something real quick, start looking at companies that you use. Who do you frequently do? If you have, and I don't mean to say this like I'm not trying to berate you or anything like that, but I'm just saying if you have like an Apple Watch with Apple, AirPods, with an iPhone, with an iPad, with a MacBook, and you don't have no shares, and you don't even understand that Apple's AirPods, the wearables itself, makes more money than most countries' GDP. Like that's insane. Like at this point, you should be having shares of Apple to the point where Apple is now basically paying you in dividends to basically buy their products at this point. Like at this end, sense, like if we're going to be consumers, let's also be owners. Like take a part of ownership in a company, and that's why I would say like first companies you want to probably learn is the companies that you constantly frequently shop at. If you go to Chipotle a lot, look at Chipotle, look and see what they're doing, see how they're using, like ghost kitchens and setting up like using local suppliers, and that's how they kind of like beat out supply chain issues. Learn those things, so then eventually you start looking at things differently, and then you start thinking to yourself, "Is like I want to own a little bit of that company." When you start learning about more companies, the thing about investing is that it start making you start being aware of other things. Like investing made me now realize like the industry is moving forward. If I was in the automotive supplier company, so it's kind of like I already knew we was moving to EV anyway. But even if you wasn't, if you just look at the stock market, and look at like if you pay attention to the economics, you will see we're moving away from like traditional combustion engines to electrical vehicles. And in that sense, that also lets you be aware of where the future is going, so you know what kind of careers you can tell your kids to move forward to. Investing isn't just about making money; it's about also understanding what's going on in the future. because you got to be a good person to foresee what's going on in the future to be a good investor. Because you make sure when you invest, you want to make sure you invest in the companies that if somebody had a gun to your head, they got to say pick a company that's going to exist for the next 10 years. You want to be able to be like, I know Apple is going to be here. I know Microsoft is going to be here. Amazon is going to be here in the next 10 years. And you invest in that company. You want to be that sure in that company to invest in it. Um, Also, in the beginning, if you don't have that time, then maybe invest in certain sectors and industries and use an ETF. Maybe just match the market. There's a lot of different ways. If you don't have the time to market, you can just buy one of this guy Ian Dunlap on EYL. He has a system where he just buys. He tells people just buy Apple and Microsoft and buy VTI, which is Vanguard. We're Vanguard ETFs. VO basically matches the SPY and it's like a benchmark for that. And VTI is like it's a high dividend stock. So in that case, you're getting ETF, you're getting dividends, and you basically matching the market at least. And you don't have to you're at least matching the market, and that's easy. You don't have to do nothing. Just keep buying shares. You have to do no research. Just buy those stocks, buy those ETFs, and go about your day. Um, and it makes things simple for you. If you don't have that time. But if you want to get serious and kind of beat the market, like I like to do, then you'll start researching, start looking for different sites, start looking at Bloomberg, start looking at Market Watch, start using like Atom Finance, start using Coifin, start using TradingView. All those different type of applications will help you understand how to get familiar with the market and what's going on economically, macro wise, and what's going on with certain stocks individually. And once you get the understanding of that, you start looking at things differently. You start being able to just pick it, be confident yourself, and invest in the market yourself. Let's see. Next question. Oh, it's also the last question. Well, actually, let me elaborate a little bit more then, real quick. Then, if you want to get involved in the stock market, the very first things you'll do is you'll start
Well, actually,
using
let me elaborate a little bit more then, real quick. And if you
use a
want to get
brokerage
into
platform
involved in the stock market, the very first things you'll do is
such as E-Trade, TD Ameritrade, Fidelity, Webull, SoFi. You also have your Merrill Lynch. You also have your Charles Schwab. Uh, the brokerages you also have TradeStation, um, Vanguard. Yep, and Tastyworks. Yep. So those are the different platforms you can use. I personally use for myself. I personally use Fidelity for my retirement account, my IRA account. And I also use Webull for my mobile brokerage, and I use TradeStation um, to actually invest for my parents. So that's an account that I made for them. So I actually use that. You can also do something where you can start getting familiar with sites like TradingView. TradingView is a really good way if you want to get familiar with like using charts, reading charts. Start using TradingView. So it's free if you want to just use it basically, but it's like if you want more of the features like alerts and stuff, you gotta pay for the premium. Atom Finance is a really good app. Gives you like market news, macroeconomics, stocks information. Um, Another site is like Koyfin, Koyfin. Another good site to use. Let me see. So yeah, next I would just say like just you want to just get understand the market, understand what stocks are, understand all the basics, and start using like a demo account with like TD Ameritrade or Webull, and that will help you kind of understand exactly to how it works in a sense. Like you will understand what you're doing. The more you start using it, the more you demo trade, because demo traders use fake money. So you start understanding the application, you start using techniques and strategies and see if it works. And that's how you're gonna get familiar and get comfortable with the market, and you can start using your real money and start small. If you're starting with a small amount of money, then what you want, I always say, is you just want to do is do something very simple like trade ETFs or trade the best companies you can find, blue chip stocks, which are like your mega stocks. So like your Apple, your Microsoft, your Tesla, your Amazon. Um, and so that way it just becomes simple and you get more familiar with things. And then you start using for more aggressive stocks, more high growth stocks. Uh, The last question I see here is there any way to guarantee yourself from making money in the stock market? So, disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor, any of that. I don't, this is all intended for educational purposes, so please do your own research, everything. So, there's no way to guarantee yourself making money. You can lose your entire amount of money. That's why you never use money that you are going to need. However, if you look in most cases, if you look at a chart, if you look at the S&P, if you look at the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, we're crashing now. We had a crash in 2020 after COVID. We had a crash in 2018. We had a crash in 2008. We've had crashes several times throughout since the stock market history. Stock market goes up. The longer you hold, don't worry about the day to day. If you just hold it and keep adding more money into it and more money into it, look, I promise you, in most cases that I've seen, from day one, year one, you're going to have a much different portfolio on day one, of year 10. That is not going to be the same portfolio. Be drastically different. Time beats out everything. Trading is difficult. Most traders lose money. But investors that buy and hold, the stock market goes up most of the time. When it goes down, it goes up still. The stock market used to be at 300 something a few years ago. It's at 400 something. Before that, it was at 200 something. So that's all I can really say is like the longer you hold, the more you'll see your returns. You just got to now let your emotions control yourself. So, but disclaimer, it can go to zero. It is a potential possible to go to zero. But as I say, without risk is opportunity. Nothing comes from without taking risk.
So I have a few questions from the cousins. So
Okay.
question one, what are some good investments when starting out? I think you covered some of those as far
Yeah,
as the products that you often
I do
use.
use.
So I think you kind of covered that one. And Miss Darlene wants to know I think she meant Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin a bad investment? I know you don't like to talk about cryptocurrency.
Um, Bitcoin a bad investment. So disclaimer: I have Bitcoin myself personally, but I'm also very, very, very risky. Um, Crypto is still an uncharted territory. It is starting to get a little bit more recognition now. It's starting to get more popular. As you saw just recently, a few months ago, uh, Ukraine and Russia had to rely on Bitcoin. So it made the case that hey, when they couldn't use no other currency, Bitcoin was like the savior for Ukraine and Russia. In certain countries, if they can't use their own country's currency, they use Bitcoin. Um, it's starting institutions are starting to now use crypto in their portfolio. I use Fidelity. They're now talking about you can add crypto into your portfolio. It's a type of new market. However, it's still uncharted territory. It's still kind of in the beginning phases. That's how all technology works. You have this critical mass stage, and then you have this mass adoption phase. We're still at the critical mass. We're still trying to reach that critical mass, and then the mass adoption. We're very close there, but just know that it's even riskier than stocks. Crypto is like the most riskiest thing on this asset at this current moment in time. Um, but like I said, I use crypto, but I do buy and hold crypto. Not all. I don't mess with a lot of them. I just only stick with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana for the most part. But there are other nice crypto coins out there. I'm just not that familiar with a lot of cryptocurrencies like that because I'm more so involved in stocks. And I'm personally just like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. So just because of what the application I use for. But outside of that, now I can't really say it's a safe investment. I could say it's getting safer. Um,
Okay, Miss, I see you looking says, how much do you put in stocks? And I think that was kind of covered as well, like as much as you can afford, basically. Like, don't put more money in than you can afford to lose.
correct. Yeah.
Um, so then Miss Veronica says, how do you obtain an ETF on crypto?
So you got to look for just Google search ETFs on crypto, and it will pop up. I believe one is GBTC. Um, let me see real quick. Yeah, GBTC is Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. That's one. And I know there's a few other ones that's coming out. BITS, yep, Global X, and then you have ProShares Bitcoin ETF. So yeah, just Google search and a few. It's not that many out. It's really hard to get ETFs for Bitcoin, but there are a few. At least 18. Let's Google and you'll come across an article. I just personally don't use. I just buy crypto if I'm gonna do that way, but um, I don't really use ETFs for crypto.
Miss I see you looking also says, what do you know about crypto? Like,
Her screen name is I see you looking.
yeah, that's her chat name.
Okay, I'm like, dang, I'm like,
Which
dang,
I see you looking, what you're
let's
looking.
see you looking real quick. You know what I'm saying? But what is it? What was the question? I'm sorry.
What you say?
No, what was the question you just asked? I'm sorry.
Oh, I get thrown off in the middle of a song. He said, what do you know about crypto?
So cryptocurrency is built on blockchain. Blockchain is technology where you have like a lot of nodes, computer nodes, right? And they have to do a system what they call like proof of work. Basically meaning that you have to they verify each other. Their contracts in the sense where they, like every node is like think of like a mass hive network, right? And a lot of processes are happening at the same time. All these different nodes have to verify each other. That's how crypto works. That's how it's decentralized. So instead of worrying about some central authority, like some authoritative person, you actually have a network that authorizes transactions, and they have to verify and proof each other's work for it to work. Um, and cryptocurrencies are built on that blockchain network. All of them are quite different from each other, very different. Bitcoin was the first, as you know, like the oldest. But there's a lot of different cryptocurrencies for a lot of different purposes. But you can build a lot of things in different blockchain network. Different applications use it. For instance, Ethereum, DocuSign is built on Ethereum's blockchain network. You have Adobe got some applications out there as well. Uh, some new voting systems that some countries use are built on blockchain networks. Uh, of course, you have NFTs now and everything. So blockchain is definitely it's it's definitely a future. Even if you don't even believe in cryptocurrency, blockchain as a technology itself is definitely the future of this country and the future of industries in general because it basically allows you to verify the work. If you think about it, like think about how you now go on a Google Sheets, right? And multiple people can be working on the same document at the same time. That's similar to how blockchain works. So now you're able to get a lot more things done and more efficiently. So think about like major big institutions that because I don't know if people realize, but it's not easy to take money from one account and send like 6 to 7, 8 figures to another account. Like it's a long process. Like it's not like in hours or minutes like Bitcoin. It's gonna take you like almost like days to get that money transferred. So that's one of the things about crypto that like the currency like blockchain allows people to do is get large transactions to move in smaller time. That's kind of like the main gist of why Bitcoin. I believe Bitcoin will kind of always be in the future because it allows large transactions to take place. Anything is does that answer the question?
I'm gonna ask, who was that, Miss? I
I
think
think
that was. I see you
you look.
looking.
I see you looking.
She's still here. Miss Darlene has a scenario. So she says, say you have $20,000 to invest for 10 years. What's the best stocks to diversify?
Everybody else asks that question.
She came with a hitter, quitter.
So, I mean, if you want to get the best stocks to invest in, I mean, that would just be picking the top companies. You know, your Apple, your Microsoft, your Amazon, Google, Alphabet. You know, blue chip mega stocks are like your top. Yeah, Nvidia, um, Tesla, and just keep buying shares of those. And also maybe buying a high dividend ETF. So sorry, I didn't explain. But the dividend is basically a stock given like a sort of kick out, like money for owning it, and it's a way of basically rewarding shareholders for owning shares of the company. So companies decide to give a kickback to shareholders, and that's through dividends. So one of the best things about dividends, you can reinvest them, called known as DRIP, which is basically dividend reinvesting program, and that money just going back in and just keep working for you as well. So getting a dividend ETF means you're also getting more dividends and putting that more into your account, and now you're getting compound interest on top of dividends also reinvested into your portfolio. So if you want to start that, I would say the next best thing though, look for stocks that you can foresee having a big value in the future. Look for where the economy is heading, industries are heading towards the future, and buy those stocks. If you want to get a high growth stock, find a stock that you see saying that, hey, I see the stock being able to grow 10x in the next 10 years. That's the kind of companies you want to go for. Uh, and once you figure out those companies, those are the companies you want to put your money towards. So that 20,000, you find maybe don't have too many stocks. Sorry, that's one thing. Don't have too many stocks in your portfolio. Like four is fine. Six is like 4 to 6 is the sweet spot. If you want to go as high as to maybe 8, like cut it off there. Like you don't have to have a lot of stocks. Like the more focused and the more focused you are, you want to be diversified, but you want to be too diversified because then you're too spread out. That's what ETFs are for. So instead, maybe just have like half ETFs, have single stocks that you believe they're going to do well, and maybe keep it to 6 to 8. 4 ETFs, 4 stocks, single stocks, and maybe do like Apple, Amazon, Alphabet, which is also Google, and Microsoft. I mean, I don't think I don't have a doubt in my mind that those 4 companies are not going to exist in the next 10 years. So, and then ETFs like VOO, VTI, SPY, um, VUG. Vanguard ETFs are really nice. They're very low cost. So that's one thing you want to watch out for with ETFs is the expense ratio. Anything below zero point 0.7 is really good. So getting ETFs with a low expense ratio is really nice. And just go and invest in those stocks.
Okay, Miss Darlene said, is time the key to earn profit?
Turn the key profits.
Is time the key to earn profit?
Yes, yes, yes. It is. It's the number one thing that you have to have in the market to make money.
Okay, and a couple more questions. It says, Ms. Darling wants to know, how do you know if you're investing in a Ponzi scheme?
If they guarantee that you will make money.
You say you can't guarantee it.
Yeah, if somebody guarantees you, if they don't say this is the risk to reward, then that's more than likely your Ponzi scheme.
I see you look and say you answer her question. She has a better understanding. And the last one we have from Ms. Darlene said, what about government bonds?
I will say it's better to learn how to trade bonds instead of buying bonds. I They don't have a return an ROI on a bond too much. Like you have to buy a lot to get a little bit. Like it's not worth it in my opinion. Even in a market crash, it's still not worth it. Like bonds are, yeah, they definitely gonna pay you, but it's to me the return on the investment on that is just not worth it. Um, better put your money into something else. Buy a business, invest in a business, but invest in your friend's business. If you don't want to do stocks, like do that. Like get an Airbnb, buy a car, put it on Turo. But I wouldn't do a bond. No.
Okay. So is everyone hearts and minds clear, cousins? I think I covered all the questions. Um, so if we don't have any more questions, I thank you, BFF, for taking the time out of your day to come and
Okay.
educate us. And if you're willing to come back, and if the ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if any men here have any more questions to educate us more, you are more than welcome to come back. I appreciate you, and I know the cousins do as well.
All right. Yep. And just FYI, if anybody wants to, I talk about stocks on my Instagram page a lot in Twitter, so you can follow me on Instagram.
Yeah, just send me everything with your with your information, and then I'll post it on the community tab. So I'll post all of his information on the community tab.
All right, I'll do that. All right. Okay. I hope
Thank you
everybody got some
so.
knowledge.
You can click off if you want to.
Okay.
Thank
All right. You have a good
you.
one.
All
Thank
right,
you.
I'll talk to you later.
All right. Peace.
The cousin said thank you. All right, cousins. I hope you gained something from this. I hope you learned something from this. Like I said, my goal of my channel is for you to learn something when you leave from here. And even with my messages about trees, I hope that you gain something when you leave my channel. I don't want this to be about bashing anybody, but I want somebody to take something from me. And that's my whole purpose in life, is to make sure that we all get the best of us out of life. While life is short, we only have a short time on this earth, and I want to see the best out of all of you all. And I believe it takes a village, and I believe that we each one has to teach one. And if you don't have somebody tapping you on your shoulder and say, sister, brother, you got to do better, you got to shape up, or here's something that I think you need to know, or here's something that I think I can add value to your life. I'm here for that. And I appreciate all the people who has been reaching out to me um for help, as it's been overwhelming. But I have answered a lot of emails. I had a lot of chats with people. And if I haven't answered your email, I'm going to get to you. I'm not ignoring you. It's just been some really deep things going on with people, and I'm trying my best to get to everyone. And that's my goal here. As long as I'm helping somebody, as long as I'm getting to somebody and somebody is taking something away from this channel, that's what means the most to me, because the little bit of money that I make on this channel, I can be doing something else in real life and making way more. But I'd rather be here and uplifting you all, and hopefully that you gain something from me and I gain something for you. Because as much as you all say I make your day, or you learn something from me, I take something away from you all when I leave this channel every night that I come on. So anybody have anything to, hey, Miss Thomasina, anybody have anything they want to say? Anybody want to come on and chat with me or anything like that before I get off? Yes, Miss Darlene, she's some work. She's some work, but I continue to pray for her. I continue to pray for her. Hi, Miss Melissa. I'm good. How was work, baby? It's Friday. What y'all doing? What y'all doing tonight? Y'all waiting on Miss Roz to come on? I'm about to take me another bath, find something to eat, and wait on Miss Roz to come on. I'm done for the day. I just wanted to try to, hey, Miss Amelia, how are you? Just wanted to come on and spread a little education y'all way today. You know, they always say you never put any positivity out. You never say anything positive, but you see the reactions you get when you when you do positive things. You get a handful of people, but that would never deter me from being who I am and trying to uplift and create a better community for us. And who those who want to learn and those who want better would do better for themselves. And I hope that we learn to want better for each other and want better for our children and our children's children. That's most important. Thank you, Gramps. Anybody got something to say? Anybody want? Thank you, Miss. I see you looking, and I see you looking. I thank Jersey Girl. I thank Miss Darlene for all your wonderful questions, and Miss Veronica for your wonderful questions. Um, and we're gonna have more things like this coming up. I actually have a friend of mine who grew up with me, and he was just recently released from prison, and an awesome individual who just got caught up in the hood, and he has a story to tell, and he wants to come on, and we're gonna chat it up with him. So I just want to bring different things to this channel, and hope that we all can be better people at the end of this day. So if nobody else have anything else to say, all right, Miss New York, I'm glad you turned you taking something away from this. Um, yes, definitely. I love you all, cousins, and I will see you all later on in Miss Raj's chat. And if you need me, my email is on my channel and under one of my pictures on the community tab. If you need me, I'm always an email away and you can get in contact with me. But I love you all from the bottom of my heart, and I will talk to you on. Hey, Miss Shirley, how you doing, Miss Shirley? Miss Shirley, why I ain't heard from you, Miss Shirley? Miss Shirley, don't have me come find you, Miss Shirley. Where you been? But I love you, cousins, from the bottom of my heart, and I will see you soon. Good night.